Hey, this is me building a $2 million a year business in public. Last month I made 170 grand, and next month I'm going to do a lot more than that. I start all these videos by doing some Q&A where I answer your questions on this channel. Then I do some growth stats over the last 24 hours to show you guys a realistic look into my conditions. And then we talk actual work, live strategy. I think it's important for people at my size to actually show people what their days look like. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. My main channel just hit 83.156K subs. We did 19,000 in the last 28 days. Growth is going really well, and this is my daily updates channel. So let me start with the oldest question, which is from Methane4657 that says, "Hey Nick, love your videos. 2 questions. What would be your best advice for someone trying to get good grades in high school? Are there any automations you'd use now for optimized study or anything like that?" Interesting. Also, what automations would you add to a marketing agency? That's really interesting. I would never outsource my own competence. I think that a big issue that probably people from your generation are going to have are because they're going to be outsourcing a lot of their thinking to artificial intelligence, they'll probably never develop like some of the core, I don't know, some of the core problem solving abilities that people had to have in order to solve problems before this generation. So I would be very careful with what it is that I'm having AI do for me. Things that I think are okay to have AI do for you, at least right now, while your brain is developing and you're determining problem solving, you're coming up with problem solving skills. AI to compile facts. AI to perform like preliminary analysis on things for you. AI as a tutor. So, when you learn something new, ask AI and then have AI tell you, and then ask specific things, ask AI specific questions following up on the knowledge that it gives you. These are things that are fun, but like some very fundamental things that I probably wouldn't outsource, at least not for the next little while. Like, if you are faced with a major life decision or something like that, or you have some thing that's come into your life and you're trying to like work out whether or not you should do it or whatnot. I wouldn't ask AI, "Hey, what do you think I should do in this situation?" I would actually like determine these skills myself, if that makes sense. Determine these outcomes myself, if that makes sense. So don't outsource your competency, man. Like that's really important. And I think a lot of people are already doing it, at least in my generation. I can't imagine what it's like in high school right now. Are there any automations I'd use for optimized study specifically? No. What automations would I add to a marketing agency? Ooh, marketing agency is a very vague term. Very vague term. Marketing agency encapsulates like digital marketing, like website design, like PPC, like creative, like branding, right? Like basically anything's a marketing agency these days. So I think you'd have to get a little bit more specific than that. To be specific, I think there are a number. To be honest, pretty much all of the automations I talk about are for marketing agencies because that happens to be the umbrella of companies that I work with. I work primarily with creative agencies and content agencies. So content automations, repurposing long form to short form, some things that draft content based off of a client brief. That was really valuable for me. Simple daily check-in automations where people need to like fill out a form talking about what they plan on doing today, and then a retrospective where they fill out what they did, and then just something gets logged to like a public Slack channel. These things sound simple, but they're really valuable. Agencies are all about people, right? So if you can optimize the people, then yeah. Amudi says, "Thanks, Nick. God bless. Thank you." Deep Biagar says, "Hey, I'm from India. I used to ignore your videos when I found out about your channel a few months ago, but I came to realize the value potential. Thank you. You're too good for this world, man." I appreciate it. I'm facing a huge problem these days in managing my agency with my internship simultaneously. I usually get 1 to 2 hours Monday to Friday after my internships, and I got weekends off. I'm well versed with no-code tools, and I also know how to market the services. It's just about time management that I'm lacking. Could you please guide me as to how I should manage my time as I start to my agency and commit to the internships at the same time? Should I do client calls on weekends and build on weekdays? Should I follow a different approach? Currently facing a lot of self-doubt and anxiety because I've started to believe that building an agency with this time-consuming internship is not at all possible. It sounds like you do have a pretty time-consuming internship, but 1 to 2 hours Monday to Friday is 5 to 10 hours a week. And then you also have, I don't know, let's say 8 to 10 hours on the weekend. So realistically, you probably have like another 25 hours a week you could grow this thing. The good news is you don't have to consume all those 25 hours and obviously, ignore your family, spouse, your kids, wife, whatever. My recommendation for you would be front load your lead gen the very first moment you can of the day. So you said it's after your internship. Do you have any time before your internship? I find it's just way better to do all this stuff immediately, like the second you get up. I do all my lead gen and marketing and stuff like that the moment I wake up, and I'm a lot more successful because of it. So like maybe you could shift it. Maybe you wake up a little bit earlier, and then instead of having time in the evening, you just do your time in the morning. The moment you wake up, you get on some lead generation activity. You send out some Upwork applications. You send out some cold emails. You send out some custom DMs. Try and hit a goal number like between 5 to 10. And then just do that all week long. When you book the meetings, it's going to be tough for you to do this, especially if you're working with, let's say, Western audiences and stuff that typically pay you more money just because of the giant time zone difference, right? So it's not really going to be feasible for you to like book meetings during your day, to be honest. Yeah, it might be a weekend angle, man. Might be a weekend angle, unless you could find work with businesses that are closer to you. In which case, maybe you could schedule them for after your internships. Probably. Anyway, you say, I'm well versed with no code and I know how to market the services, just about time management. So how should I manage time? Okay, yeah. So maybe do this. On the weekends, batch your sales calls and your fulfillment for the weekends. And then for the week, do your lead generation. And the thing is, you're just going to need a way to manage your clients throughout the week because that's when most of them are going to be online. So you need to show evidence of progress during the week as well. Like clients don't want to see that you only work on their projects during the weekends. They want to see that like you're constantly working on them. Throughout the week. That's what they're going to think that they're paying you for. So I don't know, maybe have like a simple update formula where like on Mondays and Thursdays, you give people updates, but like you kind of batch the work that you did during the weekends, right? So Monday, hey, I just finished with X, Y, and Z. Thursday, hey, just finished blah, blah, blah. Wanted to get your input on something. But then, that's actually just like, that's something that has resulted from the work that you did last Saturday or Sunday instead. Is it ideal, my man? No, it is not ideal. Ideally, you'd be able to work on this stuff consistently and you wouldn't get overwhelmed with it like it sounds like you're about to be right now. But I think if you're smart about how you divvy up your work and focus on the highest ROI thing, which is always just new leads at your place, at your current level, then I think you're going to be fine. That's probably what I would do in your shoes. Thank you very much. Appreciate all of the love. Pablos says, it's only just dawned on me that I subbed to you 2 weeks ago, and yet I've already watched practically all the videos on both your channels. Dang, that's a lot of content. Gives me the impression I've been following you for months. You create very valuable stuff. It's not only informative and helpful, but also inspiring and boosts one's self-confidence. So massive thank you to you and best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I still have many questions, and I hope you provide answers for them. Number one, what is the gender breakdown of your audience? Could one of the reasons for your growth be that you're exceptionally good looking and have a great voice? Thank you. I think the gender breakdown is like 90-10. I think it's 90% male and 10% female, at least the last I checked on Google Analytics. I'm now down to business. My spoken English is at a B1 to B2 level, while my comprehension is at a C1 to C2 level. I'm not going to lie, I don't entirely know what that means in context. I know language skills and stuff. I just don't know exactly like what would that mean for you? Like, would I be able to have a conversation with you like this? I've developed a preconception that until my English reaches C1, I shouldn't venture into the American market where the fees are presumably the highest. They are. Is this just my bias, or is it indeed worth trying markets where my language proficiency is better, despite the fact that the fees are 5 to 10 times lower? Well, whereabouts are you? Pablo. Is it like a European name, Pablo? I believe so. Yeah, Pablo. I'm not really sure. It depends on where you are, man. Like, there's some countries that you can definitely make outsized returns on investment because the countries themselves pay high fees and they have a lot of people looking for automation projects. So like rich European countries, a lot of the time, like, I don't know, Germany, there's some French firms. There are a lot of firms in the Netherlands, Sweden, Switzerland, Luxembourg. I remember I had a couple projects from Luxembourg. That's fine. But if you're in like a poor country, like, my family's from Bulgaria, like I would not niche down and do projects for Bulgarian entities just because the fees that I'm going to be able to demand are so much lower. So it's really tough for me to say this. I wish that I could. I guess I wouldn't be afraid, like don't let fear stop you. You could always try. It is a bias, but you're probably grounded in fact that people are less likely to want to work with you when you don't speak their language very fluently, of course, right? If we're just getting down to brass tacks here. And yeah, if the fees are 5 to 10 times lower, I wouldn't do them. But if the fees are like 50% lower or something like Germany, then I would do them. Okay. How can one work with markets where a time difference is 8, 10, 12 hours? I'd like to become a digital nomad and spend 6 months in Thailand, where I'd like to live and work simultaneously while avoiding working at night to accommodate calls with clients. Any thoughts on this? It's a good call, man. I haven't actually found a good solution for this. Like, I'll be real. When I lived in the Philippines for I think 3 or 4 weeks. Was it last year now or the year before that? Might have been the year before that. But I had to do calls and stuff during the night. It was just annoying. The reality is when a client gets back to you or a prospect gets back to you, you want to convert them into a client. They're basically the closest thing to money that you have as a business owner. And when you have this thing that's so close to money, you have to treat it like gold. You have to revere it. If a client or a prospect is available only at 2 p.m. PT and that ends up being, I don't know the time difference, like 4 a.m. or something in Asia or Thailand. Like the reality is, if you say, hey, can you meet at 8? 50% of them are just going to disappear right off the bat. So just to be pragmatic with you, it's difficult to do this. There are, of course, specific markets you can work with in different areas of the world, right? Like that pay you disproportionately. Like if you are in Thailand, Thai companies that are in your time zone, probably not going to pay you a lot. But like Singaporean companies, which are quite close, they're probably going to pay you a lot more. Some Chinese companies, probably going to pay you a lot more. So I think it's about being intelligent there. And I feel you, man. Like I want to do the whole digital nomad thing, but I'm not going to lie. Like I did it for a little bit, and I just found that it wasn't very sustainable. I didn't feel good about it. I wasn't getting enough sleep because I was always working at night. I wasn't making that much money. I was getting to see some sights, and I was getting to really explore like who I was as a person, which is fine. But yeah, like there's only so much of that I think I really needed at the time. So I when I got back to like one place, sat down, and then just got to focus for a while, like my results took off. So I think it's just all a trade. You're always sacrificing something in life, and that's probably the sacrifice that you're making there. I want to join your paid program, but I have another fear. How will I be able to work with clients who want to schedule calls during their working hours? I'm also at my regular job at that time. Should I look for clients who don't mind calls much later? Is there another way to solve this problem? Yeah, I think I just solved, well, not solved it, but I gave you probably as close as possible to my solution. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you. I really appreciate this. Big love to everybody leaving all these amazing comments. You guys keep me going for sure. And it's funny. You guys leave me so many great comments that I'm now one of my most common. Yeah, look at this. One of my most common complaints is everybody thinks that my comments are bots on my main channel. So everybody's saying like, hey, this looks crazy. Why are you having AI respond to all these positive things on your main channel? It's wild, man. Wild. I got another one a little while ago. Yeah, look at this one. Most of the comments look AI generated. So rough. I think this is leading to people saying that I'm now scamming people. Anyway, some people, they just haven't engaged enough with my content to understand the value of the stuff that I'm talking about. So I get why they're saying spam or scam. That's all good. What's the difference between Make Money with Make and Maker School? Yeah, there are a couple differences. I get this question pretty often, but I've actually gone and like developed a little template. But to make this seem like a customized answer, Maker School is like the 0 to 1 program. So the whole goal is you get your first, second, maybe third automation customer with Maker School. Make Money with Make, which is my higher level community, which costs substantially more. I think this one's like $140 or something like that right now. Then Make Money with Make is $370 now. I've since scaled it up. The whole point of Make Money with Make is you take something that's working, okay? Then you just scale it up. So if Maker School is 0 to 1, Maker School is 1 to 100. And I have a program coming out called 25K per month agency, which will all be about taking a working thing that you've done. You made $5,000 selling automations before, and how to get that up to like, $25,000, $30,000 a month. R.L. Duncan says, do you edit your own videos too for the main channel? I used to, yeah, up until pretty recently. I no longer do. Too much value to not watch every day, bro. Keep that shit up. Absolutely. Thank you, man. As my in says, hey, Nick, your video has been a huge help in terms of figuring out where to go or how to progress with more than just making the tool. I'm currently working on educational institutes like O and A levels institutions. I don't know what that means. Foreign curriculums. Okay. I plan on building tools for teachers and schools can use. I'm struggling to find pain points sufficiently. I would really love your mindset in terms of how you do it and potentially going to a new industry. Well, this is a new industry for me, so maybe we could do some brainstorming. I'll be starting with pitching these ideas to my own teachers who are also business owners since the network is already there. And they hopefully like me enough to hear what I say. Yeah. If you're wondering, the tools I built so far are model answer generators for each O and A level subject that have been fed a bunch of mark schemes and specifications. Helps create really good answers their students can follow, being better than normal AI apps due to the higher specs that have already been sent for them. It's a prompt engineering thing. Also a question bank generator. Very cool. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Let me know if you think these are good. I mean, like from a bird's eye perspective, yeah, I would imagine the problems that the market that you are targeting is suffering from probably has to do with like creating customized problem sets and stuff. So I guess for you, it would just be the way to pitch this in terms of the benefits, right? Like the whole goal of finding pain points is like to get those pain points really nuanced, really like put yourself in the shoes of that person. What are they suffering from? What are these O&A level teachers going through? Well, they're going through having to rush through a lesson so that they have 15 minutes available at the end of that lesson to prepare test questions for the next session or something. It's like, that's an example of very nuanced sort of very nuanced problem that they suffer from, or like having to do test prep or grading on the weekends or something that maybe like your model test generator solves. So I guess I would go really, really deep and maybe instead of just like try and pitch this, actually ask your own teachers who are also business owners about these problems as well. Because the best place to hear all this stuff from is the horse's mouth. It's from the customers, right? The people that you're going to be targeting. That's probably what I would do. Yeah. And then, there's some forums and some communities I'm sure that you could source ideas from as well. But I'd probably go direct to source, just talk to the people that you're planning on selling and just ask them like, hey, you know, when do you do all of this stuff? Like, are you finding that you're having to compromise between like, being able to attend to your job and like the work that you're doing, the students, and then also having to do all this admin stuff? What would you say are your biggest issues as a teacher right now? Like, if you could just snap your finger and then solve these problems while also still getting to do the main things that you like to do, like what do those problems look like? What are the main things you like to do? I guess just really get in their minds, man. You really got to dig deep. And once you know that, like sales becomes much, much easier because, yeah, it's almost like an empathetic exercise, if I'm being honest. Like everybody always talks about like really good salespeople being like freaking crazy psychopaths that are like emotionally divorced from their audiences and the stuff that they're doing. But I actually think it's the other way around. Like really good salespeople, specifically consultative salespeople, they're actually really, really empathetic. They're like hyper empathetic. And that's really the whole point. They just put themselves in the shoes of a client or a customer really well. And that's what gets them, that's what gets them the win. Okay, so my main channel, 83,163. No, let me refresh this. It's more than that now. Oh, it is not. I lied. Rip. Look at that growth. Look at that. Sad. No, I know why that is. It's because it is currently 7:56 when I'm recording this, and then I recorded yesterday's video at like 6 p.m. So it's been like 12 hours. So multiply that by 2, you'll be at about 24 as well. Instagram growth. I'm using this tool called Blast Up, where I basically just show. I'm using it again because it's working, where I basically just ping this service. Then where am I going? My daily updates channel is 4380. It's gained 57. Okay. Then I also had a bunch of crazy people follow my Nick Saraev work log channel. You guys are nuts, man. Like this is just gonna be work. Okay. There's no. Anyway, I guess we'll see what happens with that, but. Might as well get this one in because I just wrapped that up. Yeah, you guys are just going to get spammed with my work updates so much. Y'all ain't even ready for it. Oh, and I got to say that I recorded a video yesterday, actually. Did I record a video? Yeah, I did record a video. Oh, I didn't even log it. See, that's the thing. Okay. What did I record? One sec. How I turn one AI project into 5K monthly retainers. See, I already forget about the work that I'm doing. Oh, boy. Okay. Cool. So yeah, thanks for being with me up until this point in time. So there are a couple things I'd like to solve. I don't like the idea that everybody thinks that I'm engagement or bot farming on my YouTube. I think that I just have built really goodwill and people aren't used to that. So they see all the good comments and they're like, you're bot farming. I also know that I have a very big audience from like East Asian countries, South Asian countries. Like there are a lot of people from India, for instance, that I've helped with AI and automation just because I've probably made the concept simple enough that people with no technical background can get up and running really quickly. And these people are some of the nicest, most incredible, most like heartwarming. They leave the most heartwarming comments I've ever seen. So I'm sure some people are looking at all the heartwarming comments like, what the hell? But maybe it's just because their own cultural biases and they don't like understand that that's just how people, that's how they're used to showing their appreciation, or maybe the gratitude is like outsized. So I don't really know what to do about that. I'm honest. If you guys can help me out here, maybe do some brainstorming. Like what am I supposed to do on that? Comments like that I was getting earlier. Because this stuff does hurt me. Like when people see stuff like this, it really significantly reduces the probability that somebody's going to want to sign up to my programs, right? And then it also reduces trust in my channel. Stuff like this like sows seeds of doubt that I am just buying AI bots. Like what would you guys recommend that I do about this stuff? I want to say that it's probably coming up like 10% of the comments now. And I also understand that like the bigger that you grow, obviously, the proportion of people that like and that love and hate you are going to change. If you look at like anybody that's made massive outsized impacts to an industry, like, most people like them and love them, but then there's also a small nugget of like generational haters, people that just like hate you and everything that you've ever touched in your life. So I know that I can't fix that, but I think stuff like this I could probably fix. Most of the comments, okay, I generated themselves. So what do I do? Like, do I just get my army to like comment on these posts for me? If I respond to this stuff, then I look like I am actually AI generating my comments, I guess is the point that I'm making. Because now I'm like defending it, It's like when somebody makes a claim and they attack you, literally by nature, if you respond to a claim, that's like just a ridiculous claim. you are validating that claim's existence, like just by default. You know what I mean? Like if there's a million people that are all talking about you and you choose to respond to the small subset of people that are making these egregious claims, like obviously. Anyway, I just bring that up because I anticipate I'm going to have like 10 times the sub count in the next couple of years. And so I'm probably going to get 10 times these comments. And if they're already leeching a little bit of my growth because people are starting to be like, did Nick AI generate his stuff? Then obviously, yeah, like I'd rather figure that out now. I'm not letting it get to my head or anything like that. You guys don't got to worry about that. So that's something that I'm focusing on. The videos. So unfortunately, go to my analytics here. We missed a day. This was an unbroken chain of wins. Win, 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 all the way up to this, where I launched a short. The reason why we did that is because we did not time manage with the editor and also with my expectations surrounding the editor and also the work that I delegated him. We did not time manage that correctly. On the 26th, which is a day that will go down in history, is the day that Nick did not post a long form video on his main channel. We had we were going to publish a 6-hour compilation video of my N8N courses, because my N8N courses have performed terribly, just to be frank with you guys. Like they're really high quality content, but they're also quite technical and people just, people are less likely to want to go in there. So I get tons of comments that are like, hey Nick, can you make an N8N course? And I'm like, well, I kind of already did. Did nobody see it? Anyway, so this is a compilation of those. So we're basically taking those courses and then we're stitching them all together. And then I have like an introduction at the beginning. And then I have like videos in between where I say, hey, here's what we just talked about. Here's what we're going to learn next. Is this like the highest value content that I could be producing? No, I am repurposing content, which I don't really like. But I think the visibility gains on the N8N stuff is going to more than make up for it, because I'm also demonstrating that I know technical concepts, which a lot of people are curious about. And then I think it's like the highest quality N8N training currently available. So yeah, I guess I'm saying that to say that I thought that it'd be pretty easy, because I was like, well, how much work does my editor really have to do? He just grabs 3 videos and then he stitches them up, right? But anyway, it turns out that export times are a big thing. You try and export 6 hours of like 4K footage, unless you have a gigabrain computer, then it's going to take a really long time. And so all of this resulted in me being unable to put out the video before 11:59 p.m. on the day. So I chatted it over with the editor, and the editor ended up saying, okay, like let's just publish a short or something, so we at least like get a more content out. We don't like miss a day. But it did miss a day. It's not the same. Look at this. Look at the freaking icon's different. That one's a nice rounded square. Look how sexy that is. This one's an S. Ew, gross. Also got like 2,000 views. Aren't shorts supposed to get more views than long form videos? Apparently not for me. So the second I posted it, boom, man, we're in the tubes. Anyway, I'm not super worried about that, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, yeah, if there's one learning I can take from this, it's to plan out my pipeline a little bit better. And then if I had alternatives to that video, if instead of me just having that one video, my editor could have picked from 2 or 3, some of which that are a lot easier to edit, we could have at least had a video out. He could have looked at the export times and been like, you know what, shit, I'm not going to be able to put it all out. I should probably choose a really simple video that's going to take me like, 5 minutes to do, or I don't know, an hour and a half to do instead of like 6 hours. Then we could have made it work. So yeah, what I'm focusing on for the next, I don't know, I want to say like 3 or 4 days, is building up a bank of content so that I never run into this situation again. I like to have at least 5 in the queue at all times. Once I get up to 5, then, obviously I want to continue doing it day by day and publishing every day. But once I get up to 5, I should be able to deal with any minor variations and just, the production value of the content that we're creating, the export times and stuff like that. And I feel like that's going to be necessary for me to get to another 30 days of unbroken wins. So yeah, I mean, the last 30 days, they made a big difference. If we go back here to 90, right, this is me before the 30 days, 10,000 views a day. This is me at the peak, 40,000 views a day. That's a 4x growth, right? Also, just look at my ad growth. I made almost $640 in ads on April the 23rd compared to like 100 before, right? It's like 4 or 5x. That's crazy. I got wild CPMs. My subscriber counts have boosted like crazy. My total view count, my watch time. Watch time is nuts. I had 6,000 hours of watch time in a day. Can you just think about talking to somebody for 6,000 hours? Or I don't know, like even at like the biggest conferences and stuff like that. How many people are you really talking to for an hour? You're talking to like 1,000 people. That's 1,000 watch hours for that one thing of content. I did 6,000 in a 24-hour period. How many lives is that changing realistically? A ton. So like, impact, influence, and all that stuff. I want to scale it up, and daily content's the way to do so. Because you build trust, you build relatability, you build authenticity, you build a habit, you build showing, not telling, right? If you talk every day about how you need to do work every day and then you don't do work every day, who the hell's going to believe you? But if you actually go and you actually do the thing, obviously you're aligning on everything. You're being congruent. So yeah, all of this is just word salad to say, dang it, missed, but I'm not going to miss again. Thank you very much for watching. If you guys like this sort of stuff, check out Maker School, Make Money with Make. Really enjoy and appreciate all of your positive comments up until now, and I'm looking forward to answering tomorrow's questions.